I think we're live now.
Oh, hi, everybody.
We are. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Returning to Clarity. Gosh, we seem to have a lot of these technical issues.
We're learning how to roll with them very nicely.
We are. We're so glad that you've joined us today. We have a great show for you. We've got lots of exciting stuff. We're really excited to kind of share with you about the book that we are collaborative authors. We are now published authors.
Woohoo!
Right? Celebrate that. Shine. Yeah. You're sharing this out, my friend.
I'm doing it right now.
Awesome. You're amazing. And I'm turning my phone down while I'm doing that. Hey, Hamali, thanks for watching, girl. So anyway, so we're going to be sharing about our book, but we're also going to be taking you guys through the techniques that we have, that we spoke about. Hey, Andrea, thanks for watching, girl. That we spoke about in the book. My section is on somatic experiencing. That's the connection of the physical body in terms of bringing deeper awareness to healing. And Laura's going to be discussing
EFT Tapping, emotional freedom technique.
And yeah, it's not like tapping your fingers on a desk, people.
No, you got to smack yourself in the face a little bit. Okay. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Do you want to introduce yourself for those of you who
amazing.
Be newcomers or don't know?
Yes. I know. You know what's so funny is we've been doing our shows for almost a year now. And can you believe that? Almost a year.
Can't believe
Crazy. That. And every time you have to remind me to introduce myself. Yep. So, hello, you guys. I'm Raylan Sandin, healing channel of We Are We Consciousness and the Healing Space, right behind you. And I work with individuals who, I actually work with a lot of individuals who have some past with trauma and that sort of thing. You know, we attract to people what resonates with us, right? And so I have some lived experiences of my own in trauma, but I have to tell you that there is hope on the other side. You can thrive. You can be a thriver and not just a survivor. So that's what I help people through, really. And the exciting thing about this book, you guys, is that these are techniques that you guys can use at home and begin in your life immediately. Off to you, my friend. Who are you? What do you do? How do you shine in this world? Besides your singing.
Right. I was going to say, hello. I was saying.
Oh, no.
And are we having technical issues again?
There you go. No, you're good. You're back. You're back. You're back.
I'm stable.
You're stable.
Right. So my name is Laura Mazzotta, and I am the Akashic therapist. I've been a therapist for almost 20 years. And I have transitioned from traditional therapy to a combination of spiritual and energetic healing and traditional therapeutic techniques.
Yeah.
And it is my mission to teach as many healers, coaches, and therapists the space of the Akashic records so that they have clarity and decisiveness in their work and in their lives, in their personal lives as well. And you can find me at theakashictherapist.com. Yay.
Yes, it's exciting. You guys can find me at healingspaceo.com, or to make it simple, just type in raylansandin.com.
Yep.
Yes, I have a vanity plate on my website. It's just easy. It's just easy. Yeah. It's amazing.
It is easy.
Okay. Oh, so I am so excited. Let's dive into the book, right?
Yes, we have a book. We have a book. Okay.
We have a book.
And it's pretty. And in addition to being pretty, it's also very informative.
Super pretty. It's very important.
Really, really good read. And we came together with 23 other fantastic healers and heart-centered just people, humans.
Right.
And and we all offered not only personal story of how healing has unfolded in our own lives, but the different tools and techniques that we have found to be the most powerful and effective. And we teach you, we guide you and take you through those in the book. And cool is a lot of us who wrote our chapters also have resource links within the chapters that take you to additional resources and additional bonuses and things like that on our website. So like for me, you know, writing out how to tap is not the easiest task.
No, that was challenging.
It's definitely challenging, but so if you click on the link in the book, it takes you right to my resource page where I do example tapping and I teach you about tapping. So in addition to just the actual book, you get access to a number of other resources to just help you really develop your own toolbox, you know, of which skills do you like, which do you not, and you don't have to pour all this money into trying different modalities. You're buying one book and you're able to start practicing this on your own.
Yeah, it's exciting, you know, for us especially, you know, it hasn't been that long since we have kind of begun this leg of our journey in showing up, right, in this space, you know, with the holistic and spiritual kind of approach of what we do for individuals. And so it's exciting to kind of see where we've come from and how far we've come in just a short period of time, less than 2 years, you know, and now we were invited, and it's a high honor really to be able to share, you know, what has worked for us, but also what we have seen is very repeatable and brings lasting help and healing change to individuals that we've been blessed to work with. So it is exciting. The book will be soft launched towards the end of the month, and we'll be keeping you guys updated about that. And then hopefully early May, it will be absolutely ready. It will go live on Amazon, so we'll let you know when that is. And then, you know, you can purchase books at that time. You can get the ebook on the soft launch initially for, what was it, $1.99 or something like that on that day. We'll keep you guys updated. And then after that point, you guys can purchase books directly from myself or Laura as well, and we'll keep you guys updated on that too. It's going to be exciting. There's also a group that will be going live that we can invite you guys to, and there'll be lots of prizes and incentives. You'll see us talk about our chapter, but you'll also get to meet the other 23 authors of this book and our writing mentor and writing coach, Laura DeFranco herself too. So we're super, super excited. All right. So do you want to start? Do you want to talk about how you came into the world of EFT and, you know, what that's meant for you, kind of a thing?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, no. So EFT is called Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's an energy psychology tool that was created by Gary Craig. And the idea of EFT, the reason I like it so much is because it's a modality that combines releasing whatever negativity or heaviness is existing within us at the same time that we implement a lot of new belief systems. We internalize a new way of thinking and being. And when we clear this negative energy through tapping, we open up space energetically within our physical bodies to bring in the stuff that does serve us, to bring in that new version of who we want to be. Yeah. And I really like that because, you know, there's a lot of tools that we can use that help us release, but they don't necessarily always come accompanied with, okay, well, now how do I kind of fill that up? Now I'm empty. All right, now I got rid of all this stuff, and now what do I do? I kind of feel like, all right, I'm left here with, where do I go from here? So I like the fact that EFT implements that, okay? And what you do is you tap on the different acupressure points of your body, very similar to acupuncture. And these are energetic nodes or nodules that are connected to the primary energy meridian that runs up and down the length of your spine. So when you activate these nodes, you're activating the primary energy meridian, and that energy meridian circulates energy throughout our entire body and energy field. The governor
meridian, right? Yep. Governor meridian that follows the path of the vagus nerve. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're shifting your neurology. You know, you're shifting your associations, especially if you have a history of trauma. A lot of times those traumatic memories or thoughts or belief systems are really stored and housed along with whatever emotion you experienced at the time of the trauma. So what it does is it allows you to remap. It allows you to access those points and choose a different feeling, a different belief system, a different sensation that goes along with that synapse or neurological pathway.
Yeah, I love how it really does kind of help you rewire and reframe what's going on in the moment, and it helps kind of soothe those trigger points. Absolutely, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I like about it too, especially for people who have anxiety or are kind of overwhelmed or restless, anxiety is a very physical feeling. It's a very, it gets embodied very easily. So we'll feel like butterflies in our stomach or sweaty palms or a racing heart or dizziness, or, you know, we get a lot of physical sensations. So using the body in addition to the mind to be able to heal this is one of the most effective strategies, because you're able to really target all aspects of this. Okay.
Right.
How much am I breaking up, Ray?
I think that's good for now. And then,
Okay.
you know, later on we'll go into live demonstrations. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I absolutely, it's echo everything Laura is saying, and it's very important for us to get connected in with our physiology, with our physical frame, you know, especially when we're in those moments of acute or chronic crisis, right? Mental, emotional, or whatever. And what I take individuals through is based upon, you know, it's a similar wheelhouse of EFT, but it's very much about connecting in with your physical body and listening and tuning into what it's saying, and then going through known methods that help kind of calm the physiology down and give you that space so that you can make better decisions, informed decisions, respond rather than react. You know, when like you were saying earlier, when we're in those moments of crisis or chaos and disruption, energetically and physically, mentally, emotionally, we are brain centers that control rational thought and decision-making skills goes offline, and it just disconnects, and it allows the body's inner navigation system, the fight, flight, or freeze system, to activate and to take charge of everything. So literally our rational, intelligent thought and decision-making skills are on lockdown, and the body's just on autopilot, literally. So the EFT and the somatic experiencing, you know, tapping into what's happening within the body, getting quiet and tuning in, really is of huge importance. And I think it's foundational, wouldn't you agree, to helping people navigate through trauma and traumatic memories, or, you know, previous wounding and things like that. You know, even there's been studies done on individuals who have PTSD. And let me just say right now, PTSD is not just relegated to, you know, the military, right? First responders, anybody. I myself have been diagnosed with that, but have come through it and continue to use these techniques for my own soothing and healing and going beyond. So there is, I think one of the things for me that I really want to encourage people about is that if you've been given a diagnosis, or you know, you have these disruptions occurring in your life, that there is space out there for you to get to the point where you recognize that you're not the diagnosis, you're not the symptomology, you're not what's presenting within your body. The body is simply just communicating what is stored in there and what's been trapped and held. And a lot of what we've gone through, the natural defense mechanisms of the body, is for our protection and our survivability in that moment. But it's the brain, the wiring, right, sends the message or the belief that we're still in that moment and we're still needing to survive. And these techniques help you create space in your life and in your experience so that you understand that that moment is not happening to you right now. And so that you can take that time and build that awareness of separating yourself from that triggered memory and what's going on in your body, and understand that you're safe, and that you understand and know that you're being taken care of.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, is that you know, by the time it gets to the body, it's condensed so much that, you know, it's certainly speaking to us and giving us a message of, hey, pay attention here. And this is the only way that you might pay attention, because there's a lot of other things that you've missed, cues that I've given you for how to heal or for to address this or move forward or process it or whatever. And that we need to really find that safe foundation within ourselves. So by using the body, we are creating and cultivating our relationship with our body, this mutual exchange that gets us to know ourselves more intimately, gets us to rely on ourselves more intimately. And we can build a much greater sense of self-trust and confidence when we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%, my friend. All right. Do you want to take us through a demonstration?
I mean, I kind of do, but I'm still like pausey a lot. Should I go out and come back to on my phone, or are we good?
That's entirely up to you.
How am I breaking up for you?
It's okay. It's not bad.
I know. I just think that it's going to be hard for people to follow a tapping sequence if I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. Now you just froze a little bit, but now you're back.
I know. See, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
So, you know, one thing I could try to do is jump on.
Join with your phone.
Okay. Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, you should be able to do both. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
So I'll talk a little bit about. Yeah. So in the book, I go into what somatic experiencing is. Soma is the Greek for, I just lost it. I had it in my head. Soma is the Greek for, oh my gosh, you guys, this is embarrassing.
What did you?
I lost the, see, you know, I had like a memory part there. Now you're really breaking up, my friend.
Oh.
Shoot. Yeah. Soma. Oh. Now you're really breaking up. Okay, so Soma, the Greek, is literally translated the body as distinct from the soul, mind, or psyche. So it's experiencing the body in a connected, healthy, physical way. For you know, those of us who have gone through traumatic experiences, and when we say trauma, when we say trauma, that is, there is no capital T trauma or small t trauma. Any situation that creates a disruption in the psyche, in the mind, in the body's energy, in your spiritual connection is traumatic and wounding. Okay, so there's no comparative, you know, judgment going on. And so with somatic experiencing, it's simply learning to tune into what's going on in the body at the time. Where does an emotion live? Where does a physical disruption live? so many of us who have gone through trauma, we learned to disassociate ourselves from our physical body. Yeah, I remember floating above what was going on at the time and watching it. Like, I literally, those are my memories of watching it. I don't have a memory of being in it in the moment. Maybe like a tiny flash of it, and then I'm up here, or I'm off in another room of the house. I'm gone, literally gone. And there's a lot of things in my life that memories that I have gaps, almost like a blackness, right? And that comes from not being fully present and connected in with our physical being. So somatic experiencing is a gentle way of kind of tuning in and just listening to where the body sensations live.
Yes.
If I've got pain in my back, okay, let's listen to the pain in the back right now. And let's really tune in and allow that feeling to be there. And we witness it, and we go through journaling and that sort of process. Is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say too that a lot of people do feel scared about bringing stuff up and identifying it. And when we look at our bodies, you know, we can really just get descriptive about it. You don't need to analyze it from an ego mind. You know, you can just get descriptive about it and just, you're acknowledging it. But then instead of, you know, getting into this big story about, oh my gosh, this is what this means, and this is why I have this and all of this. Instead, what's better is to say, okay, there's a cue from my body that I clearly need some additional TLC or some healing. And if it's something that comes up repeatedly, then that's something that you say, all right, I'm going to journal a little bit more on this. I'm going to look a little bit deeper because this is a theme that keeps coming up and reminding me. And I clearly need to attend to this a little bit more.
Absolutely. And that's the key too, is go at this gently. You know, when I first started my own journey into therapy, gosh, it took me, I was 47, you guys, when I finally gave myself the permission to pursue that. And it was, you know, it was tiptoeing in some areas into that pond and into those waters, but was held in that space. So absolutely, the encouragement here with all of this and within this book overarchingly is to be compassionate with yourself and go at your pace. There's no rush. You know, we have our entire human existence is all about the full richness of all of these contrasting experiences, but also of our healing journey and our remembering and returning back to the soul that we are, that exists within us, you know, and building that spiritual connection and awareness again.
And I also think it's really important for you guys when you're reading this book and you're learning all these different healing modalities to find what works for you, not just with, okay, well, I like this modality and not this one, but also within each one, play with it. Like with EFT, there's a lot of wiggle room. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people don't like doing the release statements because when they go through and they're saying, oh, I'm really anxious right now. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to flip out. I want to punch somebody in the face, whatever it is, as they're going through their tapping. The purpose of that release sequence is that it's bringing it up. Okay. You're bringing up that stuck energy to the surface for release. So it's really a gift and an opportunity. But some people feel, oh, I feel like if I did that, I would just completely lose it. Like I feel too unstable, which if you're in that scenario, then it does make sense for you to try other modalities or work with a practitioner so that you can feel held, you know, or honestly, even a loved one or a friend or somebody that you feel can be supportive and comforting while you're bringing this up. Okay. And then you go through with the affirmations and you internalize the new belief systems after you've released.
Right.
But some people just like to do tapping with the affirmation statements. And you can try that too. You know, you can work with just saying the affirmation statements and not bringing up and calling all this attention to what you want to release. And it's still going to be effective. It might take you a little bit longer, but it's still going to be effective. So you can play within these modalities as well. And it's most important to listen to your intuition.
Yeah, and because the energy is there, right? The energy and intention for greater healing and, you know, a deeper connection within yourself and all of that. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. or I must just be catching up to that now. She's probably.
No, I was, no, it's okay. I got it.
That's so funny. So yeah, it's when that energy is held and that intentionality is already there, you know, however the processes speak to you, and the process, you know, like you said, some people want to live in the affirmations of it. That's fine, because as you continue to build experience and practice with these methods and all of that, even when I work with clients and we go through journaling and then we start to question these thoughts, you know, some clients, we go very gently with that, and we go to their level of comfortability, and we stay there. And some clients say, well, I don't want to know what's really behind that. And I said, okay, that's fine. Just let's tune into what the body is bringing up. And if you've got, you know, an emotion, when we have physical symptoms, that's emotions being held in the body. It's energy in motion, but it's stuck there and it's perpetuating, it's constantly cycling. So we literally, like you said, we just acknowledge that energy that's there. We don't have to investigate further as to what memory that's attached to, or bring any of that up. We simply just acknowledge that, and then we begin to do some other soothing techniques to clean and clear them. One I really love, and I didn't talk about in the book, but I love Ho'oponopono for that reason.
Yeah.
You know, just speaking love to it and acknowledging it, just letting the body say what it needs to say. And really, when we write it down, our mind is witnessing our hand writing what's being spoken and communicated through the body. And so our mind then personalizes our handwriting, and it says, pay attention to whatever's being said here. And so then it builds that intentionality and awareness to, okay, we're finally expressing what the body has been communicating all along. And as you do that process and you allow it without editing yourself or making it sound nice, or, you know, making excuses or diminishing what's going on, then that release comes, you know, and it'll come in a process.
And it's another form of remapping. And what I really encourage is that instead of writing with your dominant hand, write with your opposite hand, with your non-dominant hand, or draw with your non-dominant hand at the same time that you are speaking out loud new belief systems, a new direction, right? Embodying a new feeling, because you're doing something that's not automatic, that's less habitual, your brain is going to send all of its energy to this, oh wow, we're learning a new skill, right? That heightening our attention. So when we do it that way, what we're doing is we are creating a new pathway, we're creating a new association. And we're doing that at the same time that we're feeling what we want to feel, or we're speaking what we want to believe.
Yes.
So that's another really great tool for remapping.
I was talking with one of my clients the other day, and for her, for a period of years, it's been a struggle for her to go to the grocery store, or store in general, but really the grocery store. It's been a real struggle for her. And so the other day, she shared with me that she was told to go see her mother and have a meal with her, and to, you know, just enjoy being around her. So mom mentioned, when she got there, mom mentioned them going to an ice cream place, but also going to the store and getting a few items. So my client heard the ice cream place and she got really excited. And she didn't in the moment, but her body knew, her mind knew that the ice cream place held good memories for her from childhood on. I mean, just was a happy event. So her mind held on, and it was amazing to watch. Her mind held on to ice cream and going to the ice cream place, this ice cream place, while her mother was talking about, okay, let's write a list to go to the store. So she's writing the list to go to the store, but she's holding on to the thought of the ice cream place in her mind. And then, you know, they're gathering their keys, their purses and everything, and they're ready to go. And they're walking out the door. And mom says, she mentioned, I'm so excited to go get ice cream. She goes, well, we're going to do that after we go to the store. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I misunderstood. But what was huge for her was the noticing that because her mind was open to receiving, initially when she heard the word store, the mind said, you know, you haven't done that. Like for 4 years, we've really been resisting that. It's not that she hadn't gone, but it was just a panic attack for her every time. It was a huge event, very stressful. The mind said that, and she said, but ice cream in that next moment. And because she held on to that, but ice cream, when it came time and she really understood that her mom was saying, well, we're going to go to the store first, she was like, oh, okay, I can handle that. And she said she went to the store. She didn't have any symptoms. She didn't have any of the shallow breathing, the panic attacks, the anxiety about it, the disruption in her gut. She said she felt light. She felt free. It was amazing. And I told her, I said, you know, this is really a huge point of awareness for you to tune into, because your mind literally reframed that entire event and circumstance for you now, because it held on to the feel good, the energy of ice cream and what that does physically within you. So we talked about, when I say ice cream, what does that do in your body? And she, you know, of course, just lightened up and just began naturally physically describing all of that. It was amazing to watch. It was amazing for her to see.
It is so powerful. And I feel like that's the point. I also want to address, because Rachel was bringing up chronic pain, and I want to address, don't necessarily get triggered by an external circumstance necessarily, right, but have this chronic illness or chronic pain that's going on. And that's been my experience. I have chronic pain, I have a chronic illness. And that's what led me into this healing path, was because I was only getting so far with the medical world. Yeah. And when you're dealing with chronic, then it's, you know, you wake up with it, you sleep with it, you know, you go to bed with it. It's just all the time. Right. And yes, it can wear you down, and you feel like, okay, well, I don't have that external thing that's giving me a sensation that feels good. So how do I create that within my own being, within my own mind, you know? And that's what I am that's why I'm so thankful for the Akashic Records, because they've really offered me the space in order to do that comfortably, and to be able to find those little pockets within me that are filled with inspiration and passion and love and excitement and energy, and to be able to pull that out of me. And really, you know, whether you use the Akashic Records or you use meditation or any other kind of intuitive tools to be able to access that higher version of who you are, that soul version of who you are. Yes. I tell you, when you attach to that, when you attend to that, to the soul version of who you are, and you listen to the intuitive nudges, to the soul communication, that soul version of you, that spunky version of yourself comes forward. And that doesn't mean it takes everything away 100%, okay? Right. But it means that you are living a much more fulfilled life. You're feeling more passionate, excited, enlivened, and chronic pain and illness can take that away from you for sure. You can feel like it's being taken away from you. But what I can promise you is that, you know, the number of doctors I went to that said, you're just going to get worse, you're going to continue to have cognitive degeneration, etc. I just didn't believe it. I just decided. I said, nope, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And I just don't see that for my future. Right. And there's a lot of people with my illness who are doing a hell of a lot worse. And there's probably people who are doing better. But for my own path, I've been able to learn how to cultivate what I have, what I do have, to show gratitude for what I do have. And it doesn't feel like it's going to do anything. And I rolled my eyes at it and thought it was a bunch of BS at the beginning, to be honest with you. But it takes, and that's why I say it takes practice, especially with somebody who has a chronic illness or chronic pain, because that's something that has been condensed for many, many years and possibly many lifetimes. So
definitely brings you to a place where you just can't see yourself through the weeds of it, right? But
Yeah.
I love what you just said, that you did not believe the pronouncement
No.
of those who I was watching television, and there was a gentleman on TV, and he um was sharing about, so it was on a new DIY show, and it was actually Melissa McCarthy's uncle, he's a cop, and he had been in a terrible accident and had been paralyzed from the waist down. And he asked his doctor when he was in the hospital, he said, "Doc, do you think I'll ever walk again?" And the doctor said, it brought me to tears. The doctor said, "That's entirely up to you." And I told my husband, we both stopped, and my husband's in the medical field, he's a nurse. And I said, that's an amazing human being right there, giving his patient the freedom to choose his belief system in that moment. And that ability, that freedom to choose, so many people hear things from authority figures, right? And they just simply believe it because what this person has credentialing, this person has years of work and specialized training, et cetera, et cetera. And so, and our conditioning is we're taught to, really listen and hold on to everything that they say and not investigate for ourselves. But in that moment, he chose for himself to take that as motivation to walk. And he walks now, and he's been walking for decades because that doctor said, it's entirely up to you.
Mm.
Amazing the power that the mind has.
Oh yeah. And it's so funny because I wrote about that in one of my blogs the other day. And you just almost exactly quoted a quote from my chapter, my EFT chapter, yeah, which was about, like, I really felt like my good girl persona was being challenged because I was so used to following the rules. I was such a rule follower,
Yes.
and so I felt like, oh, now I'm not listening to the doctors. They're
Right.
telling me to do this, this, and that. But, first of all, they all disagree with each other.
Yes.
And I was then put in a position to say, oh, now I'm challenging authority. This is a new me, because I was always the one who was like, okay, yes, yes. I was the teacher.
Yeah.
I was the one who was raising my hand and annoying the crap out of the other students.
Same.
So, for me, it was like, oh, okay, now I have to chart a new path, and I have to choose what that path is and where to go. And it scared the crap out of me. But I'll tell you, when I chose to start thinking and creating outside of the box, it was incredibly freeing, incredibly freeing. So
yeah.
let's take a moment and demo. Go ahead. Were you going to say something before we demo?
No, I agree with you 100%. I was that complacent, compliant kid myself. And even this path that I'm on and how I show up now is diametrically opposed to most of my family and certainly my early, beginnings. But a lot of my family members are coming around, and a lot of them now look to holistic and alternative therapies for things. Western medicine has its place, but oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking at a comment on the page. Surprised me. Yeah, so anyway, so now their mind is expanding, right? And their energy is becoming more open. So did you want to do a demonstration, my friend?
I'm going to do a demo. Okay, so EFT. So I was telling you already that we tap on the acupressure points of the body, right? So we start with the karate chop point, which is the end of your pinky and your wrist. And you can tap with 1, 2, 3, or 4 fingers. And you can go nice and lightly, or you can be an aggressive tapper like I am, okay? Either one, whatever you want. When you're starting out, if you haven't tapped before, you're going to want to probably go a little bit lighter, especially if you do have a history of trauma, because the body has more sensitivity. The receptors are more sensitive, so you want to take it easy. You don't have to do all of the points that I use. Some practitioners use all of these points and some do not. You can do a form of EFT that's very rapid. You can keep it just on your face, whatever you want, okay? And then when we go through the points, you're going to be able to follow the ones on my face pretty easily by looking at me. But when you get to the collarbone point, it's right here under the collarbone. If you move over and down a little, it gets a little too sensitive for people. So it's like right here under the collarbone. And you can do it on both sides, or you can just do it on one side. Same thing with your face. You do not have to use both hands if you don't want to. You can multitask, you can tap and talk on the phone. See, it's beautiful. So while you're on that stressful conversation for work or with your family, you can be like, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. All right, and then the spot here under the armpit is about 4 inches under your armpit, and in the center of your bra strap for females, okay? Wrist to wrist, and then the last one is the top of the head, okay? So when I do this, I'm going to be speaking the statements out loud, and then you're going to repeat them after me when I speak the statements, okay? So let's all close our eyes and take a deep breath in through our nose. And breathing out through your mouth. We're gonna do one more of those, breathing in through your nose all the way to the base of your spine. And out through your mouth, really squeezing your belly button to your spine and getting all that air out so you're really emptying. And I want you to just identify right now where you're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being you're feeling amazing, and 1 feeling I feel awful. Just identify, you can type that in the comments if you want, as to where you're feeling dis-ease or discomfort. And then we're going to rate you again after we tap, because that's really going to give you an indicator. Do I need to continue tapping, or am I good? Like, I'm done for now. Okay. A lot of times when we start tapping, it's helpful to journal. It's helpful to journal beforehand so that you get a general idea of, okay, what do I really want to release here? What is the thing that's coming up that's bothering me? And if you really don't know, or if you're having trouble accessing some of the subconscious material through your writing, you can just repeat the same statement over and over again. You can just say, I am anxious, I am anxious, I am anxious. Okay. So it doesn't matter how fancy you get. All right. So we're going to start tapping here with the karate chop point, and you're going to repeat after me.
Okay.
Even though I'm feeling all of this anxiety right now.
Even though I'm feeling all of this anxiety right now.
I completely love and accept myself.
I completely love and accept myself.
Even though I feel like things are not in my control.
Even though I feel things are not in my control.
I know there are a lot of things that are in my control.
I know there are a lot of things that are in my control.
Okay, you're going to take a deep breath here. Keep tapping. And breathe out.
Feeling energy in this point right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to the tapping points. All of this anxiety.
All of this anxiety.
All of this fear I have inside of me.
All of this fear I have inside of me.
There's just so much uncertainty.
There's just so much uncertainty.
I don't know which way to go.
I don't know which way to go.
And I don't know what to do.
And I don't know what to do.
Am I going to feel like this forever?
Am I going to feel like this forever?
I can feel this fear at a cellular level.
I can feel this fear at a cellular level.
And it's impacting my focus.
It's impacting my focus.
It's impacting my concentration.
It's impacting my concentration.
And sometimes I get lost in the anxiety.
And sometimes I get lost in the anxiety.
And I don't know who I am anymore.
And I don't know who I am anymore.
And I don't know who I am to become.
And I don't know who I am to become.
I would love it if someone could save me.
I would love it if someone could save me.
I just need some help.
I just need some help.
Taking a deep breath here. And breathe out. I choose to release this fear now.
I choose to release this fear now.
I choose to release it at a cellular level.
I choose to release it at a cellular level.
I choose not to identify with being anxious.
I choose not to identify with being anxious.
To label myself as having anxiety.
To label myself as having anxiety.
I choose to return to the core of who I am.
I choose to return to the core of who I am.
To remember that loving soul inside of me.
To remember that loving soul inside of me.
And her infinite access to resources.
And her infinite access to resources.
I choose to access these resources now.
I choose to access these resources now.
To use what is available to me.
To use what is available to me.
So that I can feel empowered.
So that I can feel empowered.
so I can tap into the deepest level of myself.
So I can tap into the deepest level of myself.
And set myself free of all of this conditioning.
And set myself free of all of this conditioning.
Remembering who I am.
Remembering who I am.
And returning to my core self.
And returning to my core self.
Okay, take a deep breath in. Breathing out. And this is the moment at which you just kind of tune into your body. It's normal to feel a little bit buzzy, a little bit tingly after tapping. That's the energy moving. Really then identify on that scale of 1 to 10 again how you're feeling. 10 being I feel phenomenal and amazing, and 1 feeling I suck. And identify where that is. And if you went up a little bit, great. And if you went down a little bit, then you're going to want to maybe go through just with the affirmations. Yeah. And if you feel like I want some more, then you're going to take any of those statements that came up for you that either triggered a sensation inside of you, made you feel something emotionally, and you're going to journal about that a little bit, because that's going to take you just a little bit deeper. And then you take that journaling content and you make that the topic or the theme of the next tapping. So if you can see as you do this, you can uncover layer by layer and go deeper and deeper. I typically find in my private sessions with patients that they get to that really core belief system or that core thing they need to release that they might not have been aware of after the 3rd round of tapping. It's really on round 3 that we're like, okay, this is the really deep stuff. This is the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, because it affords the mind a distraction, right? But it's a connected distraction that gives it that room and that space to go, ooh, what's happening right now? This is curious. This is strange. I've never done this. What the heck is going on? Why am I beating, tapping myself? What's happening? Yeah. And then the mind finally relaxes because it accepts it as a known experience, right? So that
exactly. And this is actually a modality that children love. Children love tapping. And it's something, if you think about it, that happens a lot. Like if you're restless and you're tapping your pen.
Yeah. Yes.
No, your pen. It's the same kind of thing. If you're kind of that classic person who shakes their leg.
I used to do that as a kid all the time.
In their leg. Those are all ways that our bodies are naturally being called to find harmony.
Self-soothe, right?
Yeah, self-soothe. And so we're very used to, kids have fidget spinners and they have what do they call them? Fidget cubes or something? Can't remember.
Oh, I haven't seen those. I've seen the spinners where they're twirling it.
They have cubes too. They have little switches and little balls and little buttons to push.
Interesting.
And so it's the same kind of, you're redirecting your body's energy. Right. And do that despite the content of whatever you're engaging in, whether it's tapping, whether it's a fidget spinner or whatever. What you're doing is you're giving your mind and body the message that you are in control and that you're taking control over your energy and creating a direction for it to flow, which just increases your self-trust and self-reliance.
Yes. Well, and I love to, one of the things too that I bring people into awareness is simply beginning with breath work, which is a huge, people will say breathing, I just do that naturally.
Right.
Well, what I demonstrate for clients when I start working with them in this way is that they don't breathe naturally. They breathe very shallow from the chest, right? And so when we talk about breath work, the real reset for our physiology is in gathering in, taking in those deep belly breaths from the belly, and expanding the belly while we're inhaling. People think when you're inhaling that your belly should suck in, and then when you're exhaling, it should expand out. Well, in reality, the belly expands when it's inhaling, and when it's exhaling, it retracts, right? So, and it's been interesting for me because I see when I take people through that exercise, it's a lot of communication that goes on watching the body, because a lot of people have stress about that. I'll see their chest and their belly do this sort of thing. The chest is trying to bring it in and the belly's trying to do something. And so I take people through that exercise with their hands on their belly, the hand being the connective point, right? So that they can actually feel the presence of their belly.
Right.
And expand and literally touching their body. So I love that that's what tapping does too. It's connecting in, touching those physical areas. You know, when you were talking about remembering and concentration, it's no mistake that it's all up here on this acupressure point, right? On this part of the meridian, because it has everything to do with concentration and focus and memory and remembrance.
And that's what I was going to say too, is, you know, we talk about how when we place our intention on something, the energy follows it.
Yeah.
So I have found that with chronic pain in particular, intentional breath work is the most effective. You know, not just, okay, I'm going to just breathe in, breathe out, follow my 3-part breath, things like that, but really finding that part of your physical body that's in pain and really intentionally sending the breath there. And it's not that simple. You know, we can expand there. We can kind of play with the breath, different types of breath, holding the breath, rapid breathing, sighing, yawning. There's so many different tools that you can play with the breath. But I found that the breath itself has been the most effective for chronic pain. And it's really asking for more space. You know,
space, yes, more oxygen there, more release there, more relaxation there. Yeah. So some of the tools that I cover in the book in my chapter, again, I take people through first the thought awareness, the physical noticing. You know, I have a guided meditation that I've included in the book, a link to that, and it really brings the body into awareness of its space and what it's taking up, and even its pressure in the chair right now as I'm talking, or the resting of my, you know, foot against the back of my ankle, you know, and all of that. And so it's really tapping into body positioning, the weight of the body, the feeling of the shoulders, the feeling of the back, and all of that. So do you want to do like a little mini guided meditation? We can kind of
do it. I'm just adding the link to the to Laura DeFranco's website, where she has information about the book.
Yes.
So if anybody wants to check it out, they're welcome to click on that and just read more about, and you'll see updates posted there in terms of launch date and publication and bonuses.
Yeah, and I think, is that the site where she's got if you want to do a download for a free chapter, you can.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. Yes, there is a download for a free chapter on that site. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so let's take everybody through a little mini guided meditation.
Okay, do it.
All right, my friend. Okay. So I just invite you now, wherever you're at in the space that you're in, if you're lying down or if you're seated. If you're standing, I encourage you to sit down or lie down, of course, and just get comfortable. And if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. And again, always beginning with the foundation, with our breathing, encouraging you to expand the belly, taking in a deep, relaxing, energetic breath, and lightly releasing the breath through the lips, blowing it out fully. And again, one more expansive, deep breath through the belly. If it helps you, put your hands upon your belly, feeling your belly rise as you exhale or inhale, and slowly breathing it out through your lips as you exhale, feeling that belly release. And one more deep inhale, expanding the belly, feeling that belly rise and fully bring in wonderful healing oxygen, and releasing softly through the lips as we exhale. And continuing with your breath in that natural pattern and letting the body have its way, bringing your noticing and awareness to your position in the space you're sitting, to your sits bones, maybe the back of your thighs. Allow your noticing and awareness to travel down your legs, to your ankles, your feet. Planting your feet firmly on the ground, or if you're laying down, relaxing your feet and your toes on the bed or the couch. Shifting your awareness now up through the back, your lower back, your middle back, your shoulders, straightening the spine, relaxing the shoulders, letting them drop naturally away from the neck and the ears. Bringing your awareness up through the back of your neck, the back of your head, relaxing, releasing your neck, feeling the sensation of relaxation flowing down your face, through the forehead, through your cheeks, softening the cheeks, allowing your mouth to take a gentle, natural position on your face, loosening and moving the jaw, releasing the tension there. And bringing that relaxation down through the chest, releasing those muscles, expanding the chest, giving the chest space, feeling the lungs as they expand in with air and release. Allowing that releasing to travel down the arms, feeling your arms naturally resting in your lap or on the arms of your chair or at your side. Softening the wrists, softening the fingers, opening the palms. And bringing your awareness again to your breath, to your belly. Releasing your hips. And just feeling the full weight of your body in this space. Understanding this is what it feels like to be fully present here in this moment. And silently repeating, I am safe, I am here, I am now, I am. I am safe, I am here, I am now, I am. I am safe, I am here, I am now, I am. And simply allowing that to radiate through the cells of your body, through your muscles, through your bones, through your nerves. Just simply allowing that space to be. And when you're ready, thanking and allowing this awareness, this love energy to continue flowing through your body, begin bringing your awareness into the room that you're in, the noises present, the feeling of the chair that you're sitting in, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the sunshine streaming through, perhaps the fan in the room. Calling your energy into your body, fully safe, fully present, fully here in this moment. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, wiggling your toes, your hands, moving your arms, coming back into awareness and wide awake, wide alert. Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, thank you. You're so welcome. And it's those amazing moments where we can just allow ourselves to get really still, right? And really in tune and recognize that we are a safe container for the soul that lives within us. And simply allowing our soul to communicate those messages to us that
Felt a
are
real energy shift when you were speaking the statements.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Big shift.
I love those statements. They're my go-to statements for when I'm feeling disrupted or when I'm feeling disconnected. And they're very grounding. They're very centering, right? They hit the root chakra.
Well, they do, because they hit that feeling of finding that foundation within yourself and really, creating and feeling into the sensitivity. I can't think of the word I was going to use. See, now I had a memory lapse.
It's okay. You're good.
but finding that safety within ourselves, and it's reminding you, yes, I am here. I am now. I am. It's just me. That's all that's present right now,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and claiming that. And the other two things that I had thought of while we were doing that was, one is that the primary areas of tension that people hold in their physical bodies, obviously neck and shoulders are very common, but don't neglect your jaw joint or your hip socket, because those are two really, really tense areas. And that's something that we can all benefit from, all of those areas, stretching or expanding through yoga poses or stretching or just intentional breath throughout the day on a regular basis, just because we can be preventive in those areas because they tend to kind of lock up on us.
Yes.
And the other thing is progressive muscle relaxation. I teach a lot of my clients that before we're doing a certain modality, if they're really anxious, and you're probably familiar with it and might not even know what it's called, but it's really kind of scrunching up your toes, holding it for 5 and then releasing for 5, and then doing that with every muscle group all the way up to the top of your head. And that what you're doing is you're releasing and contracting muscles. So you're releasing the same kind of chemicals, I guess you could say, or hormones or endorphins in your body that you do when you're exercising. And it's just at a lower level, but it's literally impossible for your physical body to not calm down when you engage in that practice. And that's also a really productive somatic experiencing that you can take yourself through, just yourself, visually.
Well, and the importance too is to understand that we cannot hold on to 2 states of awareness at the same time. So I love that you just brought that up, because when we engage our physical body through breath work, through the squeezing, the contracting and releasing of our muscles, through meditation and that sort of thing, or building mindful awareness of just simply taking something in our hand and feeling the weight of it in our hand and really touching it and being present with that, it calms all other states that are going on within us. So, it brings and lowers anxiety in the moment, or high states of emotionality. If we're really in a good cry or something like that. It's not that I'm advocating avoiding crying, but what I am saying is that we can't hold 2 states of emotional awareness at the same time within our body. So our body can only experience one at a time. So bringing that pause to the moment that you're in really is tremendous in creating that space. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, guys. So let us know if you have further questions about somatic
Yeah.
experiencing or tapping. We really encourage you to check out the Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing Techniques.
Yeah.
We put the link in the comments so that if you guys want a free chapter to get an idea of what this book looks like, what it's about, start to get a feel for it, we encourage you to do so. It's going to be on sale very soon. Within the next week, we'll keep you posted on Amazon for $1.99 and for a digital download. And then the actual book itself, we will keep you posted on updates as to when that's coming out, but it should be around the first week in May.
Yeah.
So
Around there. Yeah.
Rapidly approaching. The feedback that we've been getting on this book is just absolutely fantastic. It's we're very proud to be putting this out into the world and to be able to assist people just in a different way. You know, everybody learns differently, everybody absorbs information differently, and I love that we have all these different modalities that we can use. So because I know when I started my healing journey, I felt very, very overwhelmed. There were a lot of different options, a lot of modalities that and people, practitioners that were doing this, I didn't know who I could trust or which way to go. And it's nice that we can kind of encapsulate a large majority of that into a book so that you guys can kind of do it in your own time, at your own pace, and practice it in the comfort of your own home. And feel free to check out either of our websites and connect with us if you have further questions or you want to explore the modality that we shared even further. And we thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, it's this is going to be an amazing amazing book, and the encouraging thing about it is it has tools that you can use immediately. You know, upon reading, you can begin the practice today. And you know, it is all about it being a practice. It's not a perfection, okay? And you know, you pick it up when you pick it up, you know, and if you need to give space to one and set aside another, it's there for you waiting when you're ready to pick it back up again. So it's amazing. And yeah, thank you guys for watching today. We're so excited to bring this content to you guys and you know, bring our show. If you have any feedback or if there's topics that you'd love for us to talk about too, we're all about bringing clarity to the spiritual path of awakening and to healing, you know, and what our human existence looks like when we're tapped into and connected at the spiritual level. So,
and I just want to say one more note is don't judge yourself when you're practicing these techniques. There's no right or wrong, you know, and I think, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. The fact that you're practicing it all, again, is you making a commitment to yourself. And the fact that you would even purchase or consider reading this book means you do have an investment in yourself, in your own healing and shifting and changing and self-development. And that's something that really needs to be honored and appreciated within you. So, so definitely take your time with it and play with the different modalities and listen to your intuition.
Yeah, really, the thing of it is that we're simply just, you know, guides. We hold that space. But honestly, you guys, you have that healer within you. Your own natural healer knows exactly what you need, what you've come here for, what the contracts that you have come in, the roles that you've come to play, the experiences you've come to have. And so absolutely, this gives you the opportunity to heal the noise, you know, tamp it down and really hone in on your healer within, you know, and listening and honoring that voice within you. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining. Again, you can find me in the healing space here. You can find Laura at Emerge Healing and Wellness and at the AkashicTherapist.com and RaylanSaindon.com or healingspace.com, healingspaceco.com. And then we each have free groups. Laura's group, Room for Healing, and mine, Connected Empowerment, and we'll leave those links in there too. We'll keep you guys updated on the book as well. So thanks for joining us, you guys.
Sending you guys lots of love. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you.